Welcome to another episode of Decatur Dish. I'm Maria Moreau with Atlanta News First, joined by our wonderful partners at Decatur Dish, founder and editor Dan Wisenhunt. Dan, how is your Tuesday going?
I'm doing great. I've had enough caffeine to kill a small mammal, so let's do this.
I'm locked in. We have some wild stories to talk about that are making news in DeKalb County, and I want to start with this one involving Atlanta City Councilwoman Liliana Bakhtiari, apparently in the hot seat after reports came out that she lashed out at a high school student during an event last week. Now, Decatur Dish actually spoke to these parents, saying that she apparently lost her temper after a student had asked about an altercation between her and a security guard at Oakland Cemetery. What's that about?
Well, I would think it's safe to say that Councilmember Bakhtiari is having a tough month. She was at the, and for clarity, she uses she, her, they, them pronouns interchangeably, but for the sake of simplicity, we go with she, her. She was at Oakland Cemetery with some friends. They were doing a surprise engagement. It was dark. The security guard came over. Atlanta News First broke this story. The security guard came over and said you had to leave. There were words exchanged. The guard subsequently lost his job. He said it was because of her. She says no, it wasn't. Fast forward to a few weeks later, her chief of staff, Nick Capon, was supposed to speak at the new school and do a Q&A, and Councilmember Bakhtiari shows up. And by all accounts, most of the Q&A was very cordial, and they talked about a lot of issues that were important to her. And then a student asked her if she was going to help the security guard get his job back, and she apparently did not respond too well to that question. Words were exchanged. I got an account from a parent of a student who was there who said that she, kind of lashed out and was upset. And so that's where that story stands. She hasn't issued any public statements on it. Her spokesperson, Nick Capon, said, I'm not going to speak due to the age of the people involved, et cetera, and so on.
I think the exact quote, given from the head, chief of staff,
Right.
Quote, given that some of the subjects of this story are underage and out of respect for them and their privacy, she declines to comment, end quote, and that's referring to Councilwoman Bakhtiari.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to hold because people are saying, hey, what's your response to this? They want more because it involved high school students. I think there are a lot of people after the Oakland Cemetery thing who are big fans of her. She's got a lot of supporters in the city of Atlanta. A lot of people say she's done a lot of good things. When the cemetery thing came out, they were like, hey, things happen. And then this came out, and a lot of those same people were like, no, wait a minute. What is going on here involving getting angry at high school students? So
I do want to just play, Atlanta News First actually spoke to the security guard after the incident, who unfortunately did lose his job. The incident at Oakland Cemetery, I just want to play a portion of that interview.
What was my job? And how do I get fired for doing my job?
Hasn't been a great month for Councilmember Bakhtiari. We'll see if she responds.
I do want to talk about something that is impacting pretty much everybody in DeKalb County, and that is their water and sewer bill. A conversation right now going on regarding a possible increase for your water bills that could soon get more expensive. And we're talking about a lot of people being impacted by this. Commissioners are expected to meet next month to discuss the price hike. Where is this all stemming from?
Well, DeKalb's got old water sewer infrastructure, and the last we heard, it's going to cost roughly $4 billion to fix it. They're talking about doing Atlanta News First reported that there's a 6% increase planned every year. Interestingly, they're talking about having that vote in November before we have new commissioners that are seated. Something tells me that that's going to get pushed back until January or so to give new commissioners time to weigh in on it. The interesting thing to me is that even though there are $4 billion worth of needs here, the increase itself is going to raise about $100 million, and it's going to specifically go to the water treatment plant in Candler Park.
Yeah, we do have additional information on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. Please make sure you check that out. I know Decatur is also following this.
Absolutely.
Dan, I do want to talk to you about early voting here.
Yes, very exciting.
Is full underway. We are a week out from this election, so if you haven't cast your ballot, you do have until November 1st. But I'd want to check in with you. You have your ear to the ground in DeKalb County. How's early voting going?
Well, I don't know anyone on this planet who is like, I want this election to go on forever. I think there is a sentiment that let's wrap this up. So we've had about 3 million people early vote in Georgia, which is amazing. Wish we had that kind of turnout in local elections. Things would be a lot different here in DeKalb County. And yeah, it's just been amazing. I don't know what else to say.
You voted yourself already?
I voted.
How did that go?
5 minutes in and out of Clarkston. It was great. No issues whatsoever. I went and had a coffee. It was lovely.
You know, one of the chic things about going to the polls and doing your civic duty is those fancy stickers that you get to walk out with, and you get to show off that bling on your shirt or wherever you put the sticker. DeKalb County actually is taking it a step further, and they are giving out very special stickers from a design that a Druid Hills High School student actually made. So this is very personal, very local to the county. Here's that sticker. I think it's wonderful. It has adorable. A lot of symbolism in it. But our Atlanta News First reporter, Josh Skinner, actually went down to Druid Hills High School to talk to that student and get the reaction when they learned that their sticker was going to be handed out to people who went and voted.
Druid Hills High School is one of many Election Day voting locations throughout Metro Atlanta. But if you do vote in DeKalb County this November, well, the sticker you get, it was designed here as well, just not by someone who can vote. The art classroom at Druid Hills High School is the last place you'd expect to find birds.
So this is a little embroidery I did.
But if it were up to Junior Charlie Anderson,
it's a very plump pigeon.
They'd be everywhere.
I've been birding since I was 8.
Anderson's love of all things fowl even made it into her latest work, a contest to design the new I Voted sticker for DeKalb County.
I heard about it 2 days before it was due.
And despite the late start,
is that what won?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
She won the contest and its $500 prize.
Stone Mountain in the background, the courthouse in the front, Southern Magnolia in the foreground with a dove. Some bald eagles because America.
Druid Hills Fine Arts Chair Stacy Allen was Anderson's 9th grade art teacher.
I wish I had 50,000 more students like her. Just cannot wait to vote. Well, yes, it's important to vote, but I'm excited to get the sticker.
I think sort of participating in your community and in your government in a way that supports what you care about is very important.
So while she won't be casting a ballot this November,
I am not of voting age.
You'll still see her spread her wings inside the polling station.
Skills, Miss Allen.
And of course,
where's that $500 going?
Probably college.
And joining us to talk about early voting and more is District 4 candidate Shakira Johnson. Shakira, how is early voting going right now? What have you seen out there?
So early voting is going amazing in DeKalb County. I know I early voted earlier last week. My days are getting mixed. I went to Harrison Crossing. I was in and out in less than 5 minutes. I saw a small line at Memorial Drive. That still didn't take that long, but it's just exciting to see everyone going out early and getting the vote in and doing their civic duty.
Thanks for bearing with us. We had a little audio issue, but our executive producer fixed it real quick. We appreciate Maria. Wanted to clarify for our viewers. So Shakira Johnson is a candidate. She has no opposition.
Correct.
So we can't call her the commissioner-elect yet. So we're going with either commissioner presumptive, or I like the commissioner that was promised. Both are fine. Do you have a preference?
I like either one. Thank you so much.
We'll roll with presumptive commissioner today. And if you haven't early voted, please go out and do that. You can learn more about that by visiting decaturishvotes.com. So let's talk a little bit about what your priorities are. You're going to be, presumably, unless there's some crazy write-in thing that happens, you'll be sworn in January. So you get in office in January. What's the first thing you're doing?
Well, sounds like one of the first things we're doing is budget and maybe this water sewer rate hike. But other priorities is making sure we're dealing with our housing situation in DeKalb County. We have a large homelessness situation that's going on that needs attention. Roads and drainage, infrastructure. You know, I'm engineer by trade, so that is what I campaigned on, engineering progress for DeKalb County. That will always be a focus of mine. And just making sure that we're doing the business of the people in DeKalb County and getting the work done that needs to be done by the county commission.
So let's talk about onboarding a little bit. You're going to be District 4, presumably, District 4 Commissioner, yes. Replacing outgoing Commissioner Steve Bradshaw, who ran for CEO,
Correct.
Ultimately did not win. Lorraine Cochran Johnson, the District 7 Commissioner, won. Have you had any conversations with Commissioner Bradshaw since you won the primary? And have you had any conversations with Lorraine Cochran Johnson since you won? And talk to me about your onboarding process getting into your role as a commissioner.
So yes, I've had good conversations with both Commissioner Bradshaw. I've been a supporter of his, a friend of his, so we've had good communication throughout this entire process, and we're planning on continuing to talk and meet through that transition period. I've had a one-on-one with CEO-elect Lorraine Cochran Johnson that was really well. We've known each other for years. She was my super district commissioner. We were in Leadership DeKalb class of 2020, best class ever. So we have a previous relationship that we can build on, and I know will work well moving forward.
They keep trying to get me into Leadership DeKalb. Should I do that?
You should do it.
Okay. Well,
you should do it. Highly recommend it.
I will sign up then. It's as soon as I get an opportunity. So we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about this proposed water and sewer rate increase. They're talking about increasing it 6% every year. The water bills are already pretty high in DeKalb County. I think a lot of people are hearing that. One, they're not really crazy about the idea of paying more for anything. Nobody ever wants to do that. But also, the vote is planned for November. Do you think they're actually going to vote on this in November? Or do you think they're going to wait until you and some of the other commissioners take office?
So I know Commissioner Bradshaw came out with some strong language thinking that it should be pushed to the new commission, new CEO get in office. We will see which one that they do. I know it might be one of our first votes. It is going to be a really tough vote because no one wants a rate hike, but we do. I haven't been read into all the details on it, but we know our water system is aging and needs money to get improved. I think there's that estimate of $4 billion to fix everything at this moment, and we have to pay for that somehow. I would like to also look into some grants and some other funding opportunities and not put it all on the customers. But we will see if they take that actual vote in November, if they'll push it to us in January.
What are our federal delegation members saying about this? Are we able to tap into any federal money to? It's a lot of money. Obviously, the federal government's not going to pay for it all. But is there any sense that our federal legislative delegation is going to be able to bring some money home to help us pay for this so it's not all on the ratepayers?
So that is something I want to look into. I was at Congressman Johnson's office a few months ago. He had some of us in to talk about getting federal funding. Our federal funding, that anything I would apply for wouldn't take effect until 2026, but it is something that I would like to look into to see if we can help offset some of these costs.
So, Shakira Johnson mentioned at the beginning of the interview that she is an engineer, and I know quite a few engineers. My brother is one. I have a bunch of friends who are engineers. They look at the world a little different. So, looking through your engineering lens, when you see DeKalb County, what do you see?
I still see a thriving community. I love DeKalb County, but I also know that for too long we have not put the focus we need to on our infrastructure. I think under CEO Thurman, we have started to focus on that. We need to make sure that we're continuing that moving forward, because the longer we kick it down the road, the more the pipes deteriorate and the more money it's going to cost to get fixed. So I see a great community, but I also know we got a lot of work to do.
So a lot of people watching this, tuning in, may not know this, but Chakira Johnson was previously a Stone Mountain City Council member. How long were you on the City Council there?
I was on Stone Mountain City Council for 16 years. 12 of those years I was Mayor Pro Tem.
So Stone Mountain is an interesting place. You've got the Stone Mountain Village, which is sort of the city, and then you've got the park, which everyone knows about that, but that doesn't really have anything to do with the city. In a nutshell, what is the community of Stone Mountain like, and what do people need to know about that community?
So I think people need to know that Stone Mountain Village is what we collectively call the city of Stone Mountain, and even right outside in the area of Stone Mountain. We are a diverse community. We acknowledge the past that everyone is well aware of, but we have worked hard to thrive and get beyond that. We're very diverse, really welcoming, and just want to, like every other community in DeKalb County in Georgia, we want to continue to thrive and just grow our community. And it's a place that I love to call home.
Can you help me make sense of the politics? Decatur just published some stories, a couple of them about Mayor Beverly Jones. You can read that over at decaturish.com. We don't have to rehash it. We've gotten some pretty interesting pushback. Councilmember Gil Freeman, who is the mayor's ally on the council, has not responded to our phone calls, but has sort of taken to posting vague posting, I guess, on Nextdoor. Is this the norm for Stone Mountain politics, or is this just a Gil Freeman thing?
So I think he is one of the council members who do like to post a lot on social media. I think collectively it is not the norm for politics in Stone Mountain. I think collectively they can have conversations and work through things. That's what I experienced. For the most part, in my 16 years, we didn't always agree, but if you can sit down and have a conversation and work things out and get to a middle ground, I think that's best for the entire community. And I would like to see this investigation get to whatever resolve needs to get to, and let the outcome be for the best of our community.
So when you have a sitting council member posting things like that on social media, what does that do to public participation in local government? Does that tend to make people not want to get involved with it, or how does that affect the city?
It has had some effect on people wanting to be on boards and commissions, even some people wanting to run for city council, but it has actually had a good impact on citizen engagement. We've had more and more people attending the meetings and getting involved and getting vocal. So I think it's not the outcome that maybe he was expecting, but it's been good. It's galvanized the community, and we have a lot of supporters who want to see positive change and work for the betterment of our community.
Well, Councilmember Freeman, you do have my number, so you are free to call me anytime. We'd love to talk to you about this story. In case you need the number again, it is 404-542-2562. We are with presumptive Commissioner Shakira Johnson, who is presumably, barring some unforeseen circumstance, going to be the District 4 Commissioner in January. Shakira, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be calling you Commissioner in January, I promise. I hope you'll join us again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the invitation, and let me know the next time I can come.
Absolutely. This is the Decatur Dish Show. We tape on Atlanta News First Plus every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. You can check us out on the Atlanta News First Plus app. You can download that on your cell phone or on your streaming devices. For all the local news, visit Decaturish.com, and to contribute to our fall fundraiser, visit supportyourlocalnews.com. With that, we hope everybody has a great week. Please go vote in the November 5th elections. November 1st is the last day to early vote, and then the elections are, of course, next Tuesday. Please go vote, and we will see you next Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Have a great week.